Hi, thanks for stopping by the My Reader Minutes. Before I get started, I'd like to say that everything on my channel is alleged and, in my opinion, and done for entertainment purposes only. If you are new here, welcome. To all my new subscribers, thank you for joining me on my journey. Please like, share, and subscribe. Now let's get into it. Okay, so the other night, you guys, I was watching Dr. Heavenly and Carlos King do their podcast where they talk about um, Married to Medicine mostly and read all the comments of people asking questions. And but before they got into their tomfoolery, Dr. Heavenly comes right out the gate and she's like, "All right, Carlos, people are emailing me, people are texting me saying that you are striking channels. Please tell them that you ain't striking channels. Tell them that that's not true." And Carlos goes, "Huh? Carlos, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't act like this is the first time you've heard it." Well, right after he goes, huh? He then goes into his whole song and dance about individuals that attended the live podcast with him and Melody had evidently recorded their whole session and uploaded it to their channels. He said he didn't strike any content creators' channels. He doesn't do that. However, he said it was NBC. Now, you can take that with a grain of salt. I feel like he could have done that behind the veil of NBC, but I remember some of the content creators saying that they saw actually his name as being behind this strike. So I don't know. I don't think anybody actually posted it. Maybe they did, I don't remember. But nonetheless, he said he wasn't striking channels. And to also add, I was listening to Ebony DeBess's channel, and she had shared her experience being at the live podcast. She said that um, she didn't believe that anybody had uploaded all of the footage or the entire session. She said that they were told during a certain part of the segment that they were not going to be allowed to have their phones out, and that they were told to put their phones away. They were not supposed to divulge the secret or the surprise that they had in store, and they had to sign paperwork that made them, liable if anything. I guess if anything got leaked or whatever. So she's saying that Carlos isn't telling the truth about trying not to set them up. She feels like they were set up. Now, what they were filming, she did post some footage on her channel, but it was only like an hour and some change worth of footage. But I think they were there for 4 hours, I want to say. And she said that they weren't told that they weren't able to upload, because Carlos looked right at her phone when she had it. So if there was an issue about her filming, he saw it, he should have said something, right? But the way she explains it is that it was a certain segment where they couldn't have their phones and they were all told to shut their phones down. And I feel like the millimeters would have done that. My opinion, I'm entitled to it. So she did share that. So anybody have a similar encounter, similar experience, drop it in the comments. And then he goes on to say he didn't care if anybody doesn't like him. He doesn't care. You don't have to like everybody. You don't have to like Marceau. You don't have to like Tisha. And I'm like, where are you going with this? Because I thought that you were addressing the strikes. Who was saying anything about who was liking who? I don't know where he was going with that. And he sounded a bit irritated, like he was coming to their rescue. Scott 1.0's rescue. He didn't say anything about Kimmy and Marcel. I mean, Kimmy and Maurice. It was more so, you don't have to like them, blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking to myself, huh? Then he goes into a little further. He was like, some of these fans, they just take it a bit too far. They're calling people's jobs and getting them fired. And they are, just messing with their individual lives. They just take it too far. And I'm thinking to myself, well, who, okay, is who called and got anybody fired? Because last I checked, everybody on Love and Marriage Huntsville are entrepreneurs. So who did they call to get who fired? They firing themselves? I mean, I don't understand. That part I didn't understand. Unless he was talking about different as far as their business acumen, they're not getting the business, I guess. Maybe it's affecting their business as far as people pulling receipts, that most people can do on their own. It's just that, and if that's the case, then truth, truth be told, Carlos, YouTube ain't nothing but a video Yelp review because they're doing the work for the people out there. Maybe your business people should be able to run a business and stop trying to come across like you're scamming. My opinion, I'm entitled to it. My opinion. But I feel like most people, when they're putting out good money to get any type of commercial business off the ground, building or what have you, they're going to take it into consideration themselves and look up the background or reviews on a business, either with the Better Business Bureau, or they can pull lawsuits themselves. If it's public record, people can pull it. So the content creators make it that much easier. But you're saying, I understand he's probably saying it's coming from a place of dislike or a place of hate or something like that. I don't think that has anything to do with it at all. I just think that people didn't like how they moved when it came to melody. That's all I'm saying. That's the only thing I can think of. Other than that, if, if they hadn't did that, I don't think anybody would have even cared about what was going on with them. But don't come across the TV screen acting like you got it one way and you really don't. Anyway, I digress. So he went on a tangent about, not having to like anybody or whatever. But it makes sense now because now I understand that he has to re-strategize the Love and Marriage Huntsville show. And because he doesn't have that lead couple anymore, Martell and Melody, because they're not together, he has to fall back on who's left. And to my knowledge, I think he's trying to spin it that Marceau and Tisha are going to be the new lead couple from Love and Marriage Huntsville. And he's going to sell them as the lead couple. Unfortunately, we know too much about them, so I don't know how he's going to spin that. I don't know how that's going to work. I think he might have done a little better with Kimmy and Marceau, but I mean, I keep calling that boy Marceau. Man, anyway, I think he would have done better maybe trying to do Kimmy and Maurice. But then again, I don't know. Not even them. He might have had to put a new couple on there. Because Mel can't stand Martell, and I don't think Martell can stand Mel. So I don't even know if they're going to even be filming together. All in all, Carlos King's bottom line is being affected. And not just in Love and Marriage Huntsville, but in his other shows. In Love and Marriage DC, the ratings have dropped. His new show that he came out with, Bold and Bougie, didn't even hit, I don't think, 100,000 views. So this Tim, aka Not Striking Channels, striking channels, whatever, has affected, I think, his bottom line. And he's feeling some way about it. So I feel like that's the reason why Dr. Heavenly had to start off with that conversation out the gate. And he gave us his 1, 2 step turn, wasn't me type thing. So, do you believe him? I think he did a play on words. I didn't strike you. Can y'all strike them over there? That's Carlos talking to NBC. My opinion, Carlos, and I'm entitled to it. What do you think? Those of you that have gotten your channel struck, does it say Carlos King? If it does, can you put that in the comments? Do a little screenshot. Can we see that? You know, if it's NBC, screenshot, put it on there so we can see. I mean, if he didn't do it, then he didn't do it. I don't know. He didn't strike mine, and if he did, he wouldn't have done nothing to it anyway because I ain't monetized, so it wouldn't hurt me either way. So that's all I got. That's my comment on that. Please like, share, and subscribe. It's free. It's a free way to support my channel. I appreciate everyone. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Peace.